My name is Amara. I was a girl who liked quiet things. My life in secondary school was simple. I woke up. I said my prayers. I helped my mother in the kitchen. Then I wore my green and white uniform. Every morning, the sun was bright and hot in Lagos. My school, Royal Crown College, was big and always noisy. Students were laughing and shouting. Teachers were walking fast. I liked to find the quiet corners. The library was my favorite place. It smelled like old paper and polish. I could sit there for hours with a book. My world was small and safe. It was a world of stories, not of boys. I was happy in my small world. My days followed a simple pattern. Morning assembly was always loud. We sang the national anthem and said the pledge. After that, classes began. Mathematics was first, then English, then biology. I liked English class the most. We read interesting books. I would get lost in the stories. During break time, my best friend, Funky, and I would sit under the big mango tree. We would share our snacks, maybe some chin-chin or a meat pie. We talked about our homework. We talked about the annoying seniors. We talked about our dreams for the future. Life was predictable. It was a rhythm I knew by heart. Funky was the opposite of me. She was loud and brave. She was not afraid to talk to anyone. She always told me I needed to be more open. Amara, you live inside your books too much, she would say, her eyes sparkling with mischief. There is a whole world outside of those pages. I would just smile and shake my head. I didn't see the need for more. My books were my friends. My routine was my comfort. I didn't want anything to change. I was content with the way things were. Just me, Funke, and the quiet spaces in between the noise of school life. But sometimes, even when you are not looking for it, change finds you. It comes quietly at first. A small thing, a new face in the crowd, a different sound in the noisy school hallway. You don't notice it immediately. It's like a new song playing softly in the background. You can choose to ignore it, or you can start to listen. My quiet world was about to get a little bit louder. I didn't know it then, but my simple rhythm was about to change. A new beat was about to start, and I would have to learn the steps to a new dance. His name was David. He was new to our school. He came in SS2, right at the beginning of the second term. I first saw him during morning assembly. He was standing tall in the line for the science students. He looked a little lost. Everyone was staring at him. He had kind eyes, and a smile that made the corners of his mouth crinkle. Funky noticed him immediately, of course. She nudged me hard in the ribs. "See that new boy? He's fine, oh," she whispered loudly. I just pretended to be focused on the principal's announcements. But I couldn't help but look again. He was like a character from one of my books. He was in my chemistry class. This was a problem. Chemistry was not my friend. I always sat at the back, hoping the teacher, Mr. Adebayo, would not see me. But now, David sat just 2 seats away from me. I could see the side of his face when he listened to the teacher. He was very serious. He would nod his head and write things down neatly in his notebook. I found myself watching him instead of the blackboard. My heart did a funny little jump every time he looked in my direction. It was a strange feeling. It was distracting. I told myself it was silly. He was just a boy. But my heart didn't listen. We didn't talk at first. We just existed in the same space. But I started to notice him everywhere. I saw him playing football on the field during break time. He was fast and good at it. I saw him in the library, looking for a book. I wanted to tell him where the best novels were, but I was too shy. My words always got stuck in my throat, so I just watched from a distance. Liking him was a secret I kept inside. It was a warm, glowing feeling in my chest. It made my boring school days feel a little more exciting. It was a secret just for me. Then one day, something happened. I was rushing to class after break. I was carrying a big pile of books. I wasn't looking where I was going. I bumped right into someone. My books went flying everywhere. "Oh, I am so sorry," I said, my face turning red. I looked up. It was David. He was smiling that kind smile. "Don't worry," he said. His voice was calm and deep. He knelt to help me pick up my books. Our hands touched for a second when we both reached for my English textbook. My heart beat so fast. It was just a small moment. But for me, it felt like a whole chapter. After that day, things started to change. We were not strangers anymore. We would say hello in the hallway. It was a small word, but it meant so much to me. Sometimes he would smile at me from across the classroom. I would feel my cheeks get warm, and I would quickly look down at my desk, a shy smile on my own face. Enkay would see it, and she would giggle. "Amara is in love," she would sing softly. I would tell her to be quiet, but secretly, I liked it. These small moments were like little sunbeams in my day. They made everything brighter and more hopeful. Our friendship grew during study sessions. We had a big chemistry test coming up. I was very worried. I did not understand chemical bonding at all. Enkay, who was surprisingly good at chemistry, organized a study group, and she invited David. We met in the library after school. At first, I was so nervous I could barely speak. But David was very patient. He explained things in a simple way. He drew diagrams in my notebook. "You see, it's not so hard," he would say. We sat close together, our heads bent over the textbook. I could smell his clean, soapy scent. It was a small detail, but I remembered it. We started sharing more than just notes. We talked about our families. He told me he had 2 younger sisters who annoyed him all the time. I told him about my dream of becoming a writer. He didn't laugh. He listened. He looked at me with serious eyes and said, "I think you would be a great writer." Hearing him say that made me feel like I could do anything. We shared secrets. He told me he was scared of failing mathematics. I told him I was scared of public speaking. We were just 2 teenagers, figuring things out. But with him, I felt less alone in my fears. One afternoon, it started to rain heavily after school. We were all trapped, waiting for the rain to stop. David and I stood together under the school's long corridor. We watched the rain fall in silvery sheets. We didn't say much. We just listened to the sound of the rain hitting the zinc roof. It was a peaceful sound. Then he turned to me. "I like talking to you, Amara," he said softly so only I could hear. "You're different from other girls." My heart felt like it was going to burst. In that quiet moment, surrounded by the sound of the rain, I knew this was more than just a crush. It was something real. Then one week, everything felt wrong. David became quiet. He stopped smiling at me in the hallway. He didn't look at me in class. During our study group, he was distant. He answered my questions, but he didn't joke or share stories. A cold fear grew in my stomach. Did I do something wrong? Did I say something stupid? I replayed all our conversations in my head. Enkay told me to just ask him what was wrong. "Boys are simple," she said. "Just talk to him." But I was scared. What if he told me he didn't want to be friends anymore? The silence between us was louder than any noise in the school. The fear was worse than the not knowing. I missed our easy talks. I missed his kind smile. The world felt gray again, like it was before he came. I decided I couldn't let it end like this. I had to be brave. But I couldn't bring myself to talk to him face to face. So, I did what I knew best. I wrote. I took a clean sheet of paper from my notebook. I wrote a small note. It said, "Hi David, is everything okay? I miss talking to you. From Amara." My hand was shaking as I wrote it. It was a simple note, but it held all my courage. The next day, during English class, I asked the boy in front of me to pass the note to David. I watched as the small, folded paper made its journey across the classroom. My heart was pounding in my chest. I saw him take it. He unfolded it and read it. He didn't look back at me. For the rest of the class, I felt sick with worry. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I had made things worse. When the bell rang, I packed my bag as fast as I could. I just wanted to run away and hide in the library. But as I stood up, David was standing by my desk. He was holding a folded piece of paper. My note. He looked embarrassed. "I'm sorry, Amara," he said quietly. "My dad has been really sick. I've just been worried about him." Relief washed over me like a cool wave. It wasn't about me. He wasn't mad at me. I looked at him and saw the worry in his eyes. "I'm so sorry to hear that," I said. "Is there anything I can do?" He shook his head, but he gave me a small, tired smile. "Thanks for the note," he said out. That day, I learned that love isn't just about happy moments. It's about being brave enough to break a silence. It's about understanding. That small act of courage changed me. It taught me that my voice, even a quiet one, was worth hearing.